Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a 1500 point game of my Kor'sarro bikes versus some Dark Angels. So the game we got was table quarters with the three objectives. Our three objectives are those two golden statues and also that black pillar. Looking at the list here, he has the one Rhino, and inside there's a squad of 10. He has a Dread with the multi-melta. He has a combat squad that, well, they combat squadded. He has one with the missile launcher by the objective, then one with the power weapon and the melta on the right side. He has that Samuel special character, the one on the jet bike there. He has an attack bike that is with the squad there of bikes, and the bikes has just 6 bikes with a power weapon. He also has the attached speeder that has the multi-melta and assault cannon, and then he also has coming in reserve 5 Terminators and Belial. So it's kind of a double wing list with a lot of scoring units. On my side, it's all bikes, so when you're looking at these, all the units are going to be exactly the same. So it's 5 bikes with 2 meltas, a power weapon. The guy also has a melta bomb, and there's an attack bike with the multi-melta. So 5 of those, and there's also Kor'sarro on a bike as well. It actually works out that I'm 5 points over, and at the time I forgot that I had the melta bombs to take off. So I asked my opponent, "Hey, is that cool?" And he says, "Oh yeah, I'm 10 points over." So yeah, no big deal. Anyway, looking at this game, I won the right to be able to go first unless he steals initiative. So I'm liking this I'm really liking this because basically on my first turn, because he was so up and aggressive, I can move up and I can blast anything I want from his line that I don't like. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful because I don't want to get in combat with that dreadnought, but otherwise I can just start eliminating targets really quickly. So before he tries to steal the initiative, he moves his bikes up because Dark Angel bikes can do that. They have the scout thing. My guess is with this is that he was hoping that maybe he would steal the initiative, and then if not, I would concentrate on this, wiping that out, and then he'd be able to counter with everything else. But I was not going to fall for anything like that. Basically, I just moved up those bikes. They fell really quick with all my melta shots and things, so they're all gone. I took the multi-melta off the speeder, so that's not a worry anymore. Now, this is something where I kind of goofed, because I always thought that Samuel guy was really susceptible to being instant killed, so I blast him with my meltas. But the problem is that he's immune to it. So much for that. I did just 1 wound to him, and then otherwise I exploded the Rhino and killed 2 of those guys. Turn 1 for my opponent here. Basically, some things just go around, but man, he just had bad luck. I mean, whenever he had his special heavy weapons, either he was failing to hit or failing to wound. The only thing that actually did anything to me really was the plasma cannon coming from Samuel guy. That killed 2, and then I really kind of pulled the wool over his eyes because then because I was going first, I had no reason to change my combat tactics, and so I just chose to fail. So my bikes ran away, rallied there, and he had nobody to charge when that was his plan all along. My turn 2, I move in and I'm going to charge in here, so we're going to have a boss fight. There's going to be my Kor'sarro versus his Samuel guy. And this is what it looks like. So I killed 2 of the Marines on the top. I had actually meant to charge them, but they actually failed their leadership and ran away, so they're out of range. My other squad up there went up and destroyed the attack bike, so that's gone. My one squad there kind of held back to shoot up some Marines, killed a couple. That one that's up near the house went and destroyed the dreadnought. And then when I charged in, I thought I was going to do a lot better than I would, but I only did 1 wound to that Samuel guy. He did nothing back. And then otherwise, I did no wounds to his squad. That's all just from the shooting. And then he actually killed, did some wounds to me in 1 combat. So luckily I held, but, really had expected to win this fight. So his turn 2, he's now coming with his Terminators with Belial. He was actually kind of kicking himself because he thought, oh man, I could have brought them in first turn, but he'd forgotten. But anyway, he's shooting at me, and it's just part of this game. I was just making armor saves pretty good. He tried shooting a missile launcher at the guys up in the hill. He missed. His guys up there tried moving up, shooting and assaulting. His champ had a plasma pistol, killed himself, and then we ran into combat. I killed one of his guys, and then he held. So not good for him there. Down at the bottom, he did one wound to Kor'sarro Khan. I did nothing back, and then he also went and killed one of my other bikes while I did nothing back. So he won by 2, and luckily I held again. And then I failed to hit and run. But man, again, I just had expected to be dominating this combat, and I don't know if I'm going to survive. My turn 3, though, is pretty decisive. My squad at the top beats that one last Marine. I had 2 squads that converged on the Terminators. Shooting alone killed almost all of them. All that was left was Belial. And then in combat, he killed a couple of my bikes, but with all those power weapon attacks, he was down. And then my other squad just went and joined in with the combat at the bottom. Kor'sarro Khan, in nice fluffy fashion, actually got 2 6s that went through and killed that Samuel guy. So just like in my fluff, it's like I beheaded my opponent. And then otherwise, I just kind of killed a few of his guys. He killed my attack bike and then held. And then his turn 3, at this point, he's basically given up. His one squad that was watching the objective, shoots their pistols and charges in. He does nothing to me. I do nothing back. And at the bottom, I kill the last of his guys. And yeah, at this point, he just calls the game. So, victory to Kor'sarro Khan. A very decisive one, too. Some thoughts on the battle. I think it was pretty obvious that my opponent was playing a little bit too aggressive. Like many, he wasn't used to just how fast I would come and how hard I could hit with all those meltas. And by the time that he knew, it was just way too late. Possibly it would have been a lot better for him just to stay back in that building that he had in his corner and then kind of shoot me up and try and counter as it went. But then at the same time, it's a game where you have to deal with the objectives, right? So he had to be a little bit aggressive too if he wanted to even take on that fight. So maybe it was a kind of a tough fight for my opponents. A few tactical mistakes made, but in the end, another win for my bikes. And Kor'sarro Khan has the head of that Samuel. So good game, and thanks for watching.